Good to go?
Okay, so recording started. So now, before I hand over to our guest for the day, let me share my screen and give a brief about SitChat, a very quick presentation.
Yes.
See, sometime back, maybe about 6 months back, to really talk about various startup topics which could be making sense to everybody. And the idea was to really get people to share their insights on various topics of this kind, what you see on the screen. Apart from that, the idea also was to really see if we can invite people like Sneha, who's come today, to talk about something which is generic in nature. So with this very brief introduction, I've been doing SitChat for the last 6 months now. And I have basically worked on various topics. One of them is the noble professional help before really deciding on anything. So that you really don't get into a situation that you copied or tried to take something from our SitChat and it didn't work out or did work out. Therefore, a very short caution with our SIT disclaimer. And then let me directly go on to the topic of the day, which is about the wisdom which and the takeaways which Sneha has acquired from Wonder Woman Wednesday. Again, another kind of a chat show, interview which she does with all the women who have accomplished something in their own way, or whatever way it is. May not be very popular in the public world, but they have accomplished something on their own. She would be talking about her takeaways from the Wonder Woman Wednesday, and after that we can have a short discussion. Before I hand over to her, a very brief introduction about myself. My name is Dinakar. I have been a consultant for the last almost 10 years. And earlier to this, I was working in Bosch in various roles. Now I help companies improve their performance, companies and individuals. With that very brief introduction, over to you, Sneha. Thank you so much. And I will switch off my video so that the bandwidth will be a little better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dinakar. Yeah. Yeah, to be very frank, when Dinakar approached me to give this SitChat invite, I was wondering, like, what am I going to talk about? Because all, we are doing, what we are doing in Wonder Woman Wednesday is getting stories from women. But then I also realized that there are a lot of takeaways from these conversations I have with women. And that is going to definitely help people in the startup world as well. So I, shortlisted a lot of these takeaways, and I thought this will be a good platform to share as well. But before we get into it, I want to apologize that I haven't created any presentation or anything because I was not keeping well. But I'll just talk about a bit. That's okay, right? So I'll just
absolutely
about
wonders. You can create wonders even without that.
Yeah, true. So I'll talk a bit about myself, like how did I get into Wonder Woman Wednesday, a bit about Wonder Woman Wednesday, what it is about, and then I'll go through the takeaways that I've had from the conversations with the women that I've spoken to. So about myself, actually, I've worked in the software field for around 22 plus years, and my life was all about coding, debugging, deliveries, releases, and this went on for 22 years. So I started as a software engineer. And when I quit my last company, I was the software architect. So I've gone through the different roles. And that is what I used to work on. And I've worked on different domains in the embedded software, which included industrial automation, telecom, the infotainment systems that you see in your car. So I've designed those too, the software for that. So this was my life for 22 plus years, and the stress started taking a toll on me. So I said, okay, now is a good time to stop and start looking into things that I have been wanting to do for all these years. So I always loved cooking, baking, and writing. I used to write poems and all that. So I thought I should explore my creative side. And that's how my first venture was born, called Fresh Home Bakes. where I used to make cookies, and I've done, selling it to consumers and also to corporates for events and all that. So that was my first venture. Uh, it was going quite well with a lot of corporate orders and all that, but then due to some personal issues, I had to stop. And then after that, I couldn't sit quietly. So I thought, okay, I've written 100 plus poems, let me publish it. So I published my book called Words Bottled Up, which contained the poems that I had written over a period of 6 to 7 years. And then I became a writer for quite some time, where I was writing my own blog, a lot of blog articles about A to Z of life, and a lot of short stories and all that. And that is when Wonder Woman Wednesday fell into my lap. So I'll tell you a bit about Wonder Woman Wednesday, so then we can talk about the takeaways. So to be very frank, Wonder Woman Wednesday was not started by me, in terms of that was not my brainchild, but it was something which Vinayak Pai started, uh, since he wanted to give back to the homemakers. So we know that working women at least have a platform to share their stories and get a pat on the back and all that. But homemakers, of course, now we have plenty of forums which talk about homemakers, but it is still not enough. The work that they do and what they contribute to the family and the society is not spoken about as much as maybe it is actually required. So that is why we started Wonder Woman Wednesday, and that's how Wonder Woman Wednesday was born, as a give back activity where we wanted to share one story every Wednesday. And that's why the name Wonder Woman Wednesday. I've got this question many a times as to why Wonder Woman Wednesday. So we started with the Wednesday feature, and Wonder Woman, of course, I don't have to explain. I think you all have Wonder Womans in your life. Be it your moms, your wives, your sisters. So I don't even have to explain why Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman Wednesday started on LinkedIn, and we used to share one story every Wednesday. But then we said that if we want these stories to be heard, then just being on LinkedIn will not help. We have to be on all other platforms, so that the stories are heard and we get a better reach. Which is why we started Instagram, Facebook, and our own website. And when we came onto these platforms, we realized that just having one story a week will not be enough. Especially on Instagram and all, if you just have one thing a week, one post being published, it doesn't make any impact, which is why we had to start creating content around it. And that is how Beyond Her Story was born. So that is the name of the podcast that we have on our YouTube channel. It's called Beyond Her Story, Unveiling Extraordinary Women. So what we realized over this time is, there are a lot of youngsters who don't like to read a lot of text, which is what the format was when we initially started Wonder Woman. So they like more visual. They want to hear the stories of extraordinary women. And we all know that, stories have a lot of power. It has a lot of power to inspire people, create a shift in their lives. And we said, okay, let us create a podcast, which is like a visual interview, like a video interview on YouTube channel. And then, we can get a better audience, and better, people will be inspired in a bigger way when they listen and see women, what they have accomplished. So that's how Beyond Her Story was born. And of course, we've had around 16 episodes until now. And tomorrow we'll be publishing the 17th one. And if you have watched any of the podcasts, you realize at the end of it, I always say, that I have so many takeaways from this podcast. And it's not because I want to say it or I want to make the guest feel, yeah, I have learned something from you, but because there are actually a lot of takeaways from each of these conversations. And so I'll just share whatever I have learned, or what is it that I got as a part of this conversation. And the first, before we get on to the first one, I'd like to ask, like, how many of you think you're too old or too young to do certain things? No?
Maybe none of us.
Okay,
I mean,
that's very good because
I stopped growing after 18. I'm 18 till I
yeah,
die.
yeah, that's a wonderful thing, and that is my first takeaway from the Wonder Woman conversations, because age is just a number. We have heard it and we know, people say that, but what I realized is there is really no age to do anything that you wish. And this is something that I got from two of the people I've had my conversation with. One is a 12-year-old podcaster, and Siona, and she's doing amazing work, and her age doesn't stop her from doing the things that she wants to do. She talks about sustainability and how we can save our Mother Earth by doing, a lot of things. And she's gamified the entire thing to involve other children and, to spread this knowledge. And that's one of the thing that I realized, that, we, even when we talk to our children, we tell them, no, it's okay, you're too young to understand this or whatever. But I think that is something, that's the limit that we set upon ourselves, and age is definitely not a limit. And on the other side, I've also spoken to a woman called Aruna Venugopal. Now her story is also equally amazing. She was a swimmer, and she had been swimming for many years, but then after marriage and all that, she took a long break. But at the age of 38, she started something called as open water swimming, which is like, 30, 40 kilometers of swimming for so many hours. And I mean, to be very frank, if you ask me, I'll say, okay, at that age, maybe I will not be able to do it for so many hours to start with. But then she has again shown that, age is just a number. And she has also achieved something called a triple crown of open water swimming, where she swam across 3 channels, and she's the first Indian woman to do it. So yeah, so definitely, even in the startup world, I think it makes a lot of sense, where we can say that age is not a number, because you can start your business, you can start anything that you believe in at whatever age you want. And these were a couple of examples that actually gave me, that made me think about this. The second one is something which Sagar keeps telling us, but we don't listen. Networking. Your network is your net worth. And you won't believe who told me or who spoke to me about this. This was again the 12-year-old who told me about networking. And I remembered Sagar during that time, because he keeps telling the importance of networking, and we don't take it seriously enough. We think, yeah, we have heard about this, but then we don't even take that step to be a part of events and networks, which actually gives you the connects. And Siona, during our conversation, she spoke about this, about how actually networking has helped her grow as a podcaster, and also to get her initiative to, a larger audience. So she attends all events, she gets connects, she's actually she gets connected to people who you wouldn't think that you normally can get connected to, only because she attends these events. So I think especially for startups, I think this is a very, very important takeaway, where we have to focus on networking, and where we have to it's not just about making your presence felt, but about getting connected to a larger network, and the learnings that you can take from them. And the way you can grow is also faster when you actually do the networking. The third point that I want to talk about is importance of creating awareness. Now, this, actually, I didn't even think about this as a takeaway for startups or for businesses. But then I realized this is very important when I spoke to two women in our podcast. One was Sushma Balakrishna, and the second is Chaitsi Ahuja. Now, Chaitsi Ahuja is our own SITN, and she is into sustainability, brown living. And Sushma Balakrishna is into aromas. She creates products, perfumes about aroma, and she's done aromatology. I mean, she's an expert in that. And what I realized is, when I spoke to them, they spoke about how people are not even aware of the depths of these things. Like sustainability, we have a very high level knowledge about what sustainability means and what we are supposed to do. We just think that buying certain things and doing certain things will help us have a sustainable life, or we feel we are supporting sustainability. But it is much more than that. It is about, even when you want to buy something, you have to think twice about, actually, do you want to buy it? Do you need it? Because then you're just holding on to it, and it is not good, just buying things. Same with aromacologgy with Sushma Balkrishna, where she said that aromas can help you create a sense of relief. It can make you sleep better and all that. Now, these two businesses are good, but then if people are not aware about these things, then it doesn't make sense to even talk about these things. And that is why these two entrepreneurs actually have a blog where they talk about this awareness. So it's like giving your or getting your business to the next level, because we feel there are a lot of things which we know, but the awareness is what is lacking. And when you want to build your business, this awareness will help you a long way. So when people read their blogs, when people, let's say we talk about the aromatherapy, when people read Sushma's blogs, they'll understand that, okay, these kind of essential oils is going to relax me, right? And when you make a buy, you will be very informed. So this is another important takeaway, which I felt, added value to a lot of things, which normally we don't consider it as a point to create awareness about your business. The next one that I want to talk about is passion and practice. I think this is something which everybody agrees, right? You have to be passionate about what you're doing. And, the more you practice, the more you will be able to get better. This is something that I learned from the singers that I have interviewed. Actually, I've been very fortunate to talk to at least 3 people in the musical artists, who are musical artists and singers. And I find, when I spoke to them, I found that, passion plays a very important role in getting to where you are. And what I also learned from these conversations is, it's not just passion, you have to add discipline to it. And that is when it actually creates a huge impact, or a bigger impact, compared to just having passion. And there was one very nice line which Ronkini Gupta in the conversation said, yeah, passion is like, I want to do it. But discipline is something that will tell you that mood hai, to bhi karna hai, mood nahi hai, to bhi karna hai. Which is what, creates a shift in the things that you actually do. And this is basically what I learned from the conversations with the singers that I had. The next one, the next takeaway that I would like to share is learn and grow. Okay, now being Wonder Woman Wednesday, one of the common questions I ask women is, did being a woman, did it have any, like, did you have any benefits because you were a woman, or did you have any, it didn't work out because you were a woman? And 2 wonderful people spoke about how, gender, we give a lot of importance to gender when we talk about this or when we ask questions, but actually it is the knowledge that we acquire, or the in-depth learning that we do when you are doing something, which will take you forward irrespective of your gender. So one was Sandhya Raghunandan. She has over 30 plus years of experience. And she told me that, just the gender sometimes may be an excuse, but, if you go in depth and learn a lot about what you're actually doing, know it so much in depth, then gender does not matter. So that is actually one of the key things, even for startup founders, and I mean, people working in the startup industry, because I'm sorry, not in the startup industry, but in startups, because even today, when I am doing something, right, I have to learn if I want to grow. Even with Wonder Woman Wednesday, now we have been we have been posting episodes after episodes every Friday for podcasts. But sometimes we see that, the reach is not good, though the content is very good. So then I had to start learning about what is YouTube, how does it, reach more people? How can you increase your reach to the better audience, to a niche audience that you're looking for? So in everything that you work on, you have to learn something. Whatever you don't know, you have to learn. It's only then you can grow. And the same thing happened when I was doing my baking venture as well. So I am not very, I don't talk to people and try to sell things or, share what I've been doing. But one thing I realized is if you want business, you have to be shameless in terms of, talking to people and telling what you're doing and at least showcasing what you're doing. So this is actually something which we have to learn even as we are growing. And maybe even when we grow, there'll be some other things that we need to learn about. So learn, grow, and thrive. I think that is one thing which is very important in whatever you're doing. I mean, not just startups, you may be working or whatever, but then this is something that keeps you constantly updated, and you'll be able to talk to people and relate to a lot of things. The next takeaway is this is something which I actually didn't expect, but it came in almost every conversation that I had with women. That is about give back. I mean, this is something that we know, you have to give back to the society and all that. But this came in most of the conversations where women said that the more you give, the more you'll get. And it's not just about doing the things that you want to do, but it's also about how you are giving back to the society. And even I think that that's one of the important concept. You can be a successful businessman, you can be running multiple companies, and you can be doing a lot of things, but there's some kind of give back. If you do as a service, then it not only gives you satisfaction and happiness, but it also helps you grow as a person, because you get to see different perspectives when you get into a give back mode. So this is what I believe in. And the last thing is about the last thing is about, now if you've seen the podcast, we have covered diverse women. We've covered singers, we've covered anti-trafficking activists, we have covered women in sports, and tomorrow we have a feature with a female actor. So the women are diverse, but finally it is all, what do you say? The takeaways are universal. So these, whatever things I have listed, you can see this across all the conversations that I've had with all these women. It comes in some form or the other. The networking part, which I spoke about, the podcaster, this also came from the actor who I'm talking tomorrow, where she said that, networking is very important even in the glamour world. Otherwise, you'll not get what you want. So though the takeaways are different, it is relevant for every single thing that you do, be it your business, be it your personal life, and be it, in whatever way you do things. So these are some of the takeaways that I had listed. And let me just check if I've missed. So I've just curated a list of universal lessons that these women had spoken about. The first one is, I think, karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. Now, this is a very strong thing which people have spoken about, women have spoken about. Dr. Shilpa Datar, who was on the podcast, she spoke very beautifully about these concepts. And it actually makes sense, especially because we get so much obsessed with what we are doing, and when the results don't come. And as people in business and starting your own thing, you need to be very patient, because you don't know when it may click and when it may shift, right? So karm kar, phal ki chinta mat kar. Second one is, don't stress about things. What is yours will eventually come to you. So this is something I've learned, and what I have understood is, people in the art, right, like music, acting, and all, they believe a lot about these things, which says that, especially like I said, the singers Ronkini, Chandana, and all, they said that whatever comes my way, I accept. It's not that, I have to stress about what is not coming. I've not got film offers, but they are doing wonderfully well. uh, Whatever they are doing wonderfully well. So they are not after fame and all that, but they just want their talent to reach as many people as they can. And I think that, again, is a very important thing that we can take away. Like, don't stress. I know it's easier said than done, but I think that is something that we have to follow, and it'll actually help us. The last thing is, this is something I don't know how many of you believe in, but it says about how believe in the ways universe conspires to give what you ask for. So we often, believe a lot of negative things, but then keeping a positive mindset actually helps us get to where we want to. And, I have written a quote about this, which says, your mind is very strong. Don't limit it with your beliefs. So I believe in that. And I would suggest the same to all of you, like, keep faith in the belief in your strengths, and it'll help you. So yeah, I think
Thank
that's
you
it.
so much. Thank you very much, Sneha. It was really wonderful. I'm sure we could all sense the passion and enthusiasm, energy in whatever you spoke. It must have really touched your heart a lot. These 16 episodes that you have done. I start with one question, and after that, the others can join with either a question or a comment. See, you have had the opportunity to work in corporates where possibly it is even today male dominated, and then
Yes.
had the opportunity to conduct the interviews and these Wonder Woman Wednesday chats. After all this, has your outlook towards life as a whole, has it changed?
Yes, it has actually, in many ways. So, like I said, these takeaways are not just to note down, but also to reflect upon what I have seen, what I have perceived, and what I hear from these women. Like you rightly said, in the corporate world, I have gone through a lot of things that you mentioned about, especially me being the software architect, right? When I was the software architect, I have got many people who never used to come to me for design discussions and all that, just because I was the lady. And in Harman, I was the first technical architect at that level. So yeah, it was not easy. But then when I spoke to these women, there were women who told me that, gender matters not everywhere. Like, there are some places where you being a woman does not matter. So it's just that, the experiences that we carry is what creates a perception, right? So what I had experienced in my corporate life is what got me into this perception that, yeah, maybe women are not encouraged or not empowered in certain places. But when I spoke to these women, it made me look at the other side, which said, yeah, it's not always true. There are women who have been encouraged, who have been empowered, who are able to do things that they have set their this one into, so that they can do what they want. Yes, and it's not just this, there are a lot of other things also that have changed for me.
I think what you said is very, very interesting. I just thought ran in my mind. See, today, if you see a woman feeling that she's a woman and she can't do something, I think has a lot to do with the upbringing rather than the capability itself. I'm surrounded with a lot of women, my daughter, wife, and sister, and in the corporate life,
Yeah.
my secretaries. So I never considered anybody as a woman or a man. For me, they were just a human being. And then I would just, if I have to bulldoze, I'll bulldoze. If I have to praise, I'll praise. And then there is nothing which is, which I treated specially because they were a woman. So today, if I look back, my daughter is as good as my son. Okay, in the sense,
Yeah.
she is really, there is no difference. She can do anything, whatever that is possible. I think it has a lot to do with the upbringing, and maybe
More than
the
upbringing.
society, family itself, possibly create some kind of what do you call it as subduing in a girl as she grows up, and maybe that is one of the reasons why initially there is a kind of a not a resistance, kind of a uh, uh, encapsulation to really try doing something. You're really not that self-confident in doing something. And once some success is there, then it's okay. Then everything seems to be quite good.
Yeah. Only thing is,
says upbringing of both boys and girls. I think what you said is right. Boys get some priority, girls don't. That is again the same thing as you grow up. And my wife keeps telling that there are a lot of chores in the house. She has a brother, and her brother would not be asked to do any of the chores. Only she had to do. So that is something which again is possibly which makes you feel that, look, I am deprived of so many things as you grow up, and therefore either you accept or become more aggressive. I don't know. Does that also reflect in all your women Wednesdays?
So actually, one, of course, like you rightly said, it's upbringing. The second is the environment that you go to. Like, your parents might be supportive. You might have a supportive home environment where they don't distinguish between a boy and a girl. But when you go out to work, like I said, I mean, when I was in Herman, though the company was very good, they used to encourage women. But I have seen a lot of resistance from the team members when they see a senior software architect who's a woman. They don't want to approach and ask doubts. So these are the things which then makes women maybe start thinking about, oh, is it like this? So upbringing is definitely one. I won't deny it, because there are a lot of homes where there is a difference in the upbringing, plus the environment that you get into, the experiences that you have. I think that also gets in a lot of thoughts and perceptions within you. I think Sagar also wanted
experiences
to
make you a better person, right? It becomes more, your confidence improves. Yeah, great.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Sagar, over to you. You had some question.
Yes. Sagar Maudgal is my name. And two startups. One is Creatrix Design Studio, which is into designing of sustainable architectural designing. That's what we do. The other one is Potent to Set. We are into recruitment for manufacturing. Now, I have got three questions, Neha. One is,
yes, please.
What is your expectation or the purpose of this whole Wonder Woman and the podcast, everything? Vinayak ne chalu kiya, theek hai, but when Sneha took over, what is the purpose or what is your expectation? Socho ki from here, 5 years down the line, you are churning stories every Wednesday. One is your expectation from this. Second one is, how did this name WWW come? Wonder Woman Wednesday. I mean, why this whole thing? And third one is, can you give us some hilarious interview that you had done during your Wonder Woman Wednesdays? Three things. Very curious to know about all these three.
Okay, sure. So your first question was not about Wonder Woman Wednesday. It was about
expectations.
Expectations, and 5 years from now, what is it that we see? Yeah. So to be very frank, the intention with which we started was just to showcase one story, right? So that one is, so like I said, it started with the idea to create a platform for homemakers. So homemakers don't have a platform where they can share their stories, and that's how it started. Because we said, the voices or the stories of homemakers are not heard. But what we found is that every story, irrespective of a homemaker, a working woman, entrepreneur, is inspiring in some way. And, a story has the power to inspire and empower is what I strongly believe in. And I've seen that happen with me itself. Like I have read and I have gotten inspired. So that was the starting of Wonder Woman Wednesday. And now that we have grown so much, right? So we want to have the one thing that we want to do is actually help small business owners get the visibility that they are not getting. So with the Wonder Woman Wednesday Beyond Her Story, like to start with that, why we started that. Now let's say Chandana Balakalyan, that was the first episode that we aired, that she's a wonderful singer. But in this group, how many of us actually know her? None. Same with Vijaya Shankar. So Vijaya Shankar actually has sung more than, I think, 2000 jingles. So, I mean, we don't even know who sings the jingles, right? We know only about the top singers and all that. The open water swimmer that I was talking to you about, Aruna Venugopal, she does it out of her passion. Nobody is sponsoring her. And each swim costs around 25-30 lakhs. And she spends on the training and the event and all that. But that's because she is passionate about it. But how many of us know that there is an Indian woman who swims, 30 kilometers and in English Channel and Catalina Channel and all that? So the intention is to give these women a platform where at least they get, acknowledged and appreciated for what they have done, which helps in growing their confidence. Now, Aruna is regularly in touch with me, and she says that after what you have, whatever we had put up on Beyond Her Story and this, she is getting a lot of calls from people who are saying, oh, really, we didn't know. So, we don't even realize that maybe our neighbor itself might be doing something and we don't know until we see it somewhere. So that was the intention of Beyond Her Story, and which is what we are continuing. Same with, let's say, Sushma Balakrishna. She is doing amazingly well with her products in...
Sneha, just a moment. See, this is the purpose that you started. Okay, and I suppose you explained this very clearly in the beginning. No, what my question is, what is the expectation? Do you look at this as one for-profit startup? Do you look at it as what?
So, like I said, this started as a CSR in terms of as a give back. But when you have podcasts, when you have so many things which you are doing, then, just doing it as a CSR activity becomes actually expensive in terms of, the video editing expenses. You have a person who's doing a lot of content for you and all that. So the idea that we have is the whatever we have in terms of Wonder Woman Wednesday will remain as is, and we want to build a revenue model around it in terms of using our digital channels. Of course, that is one way. Like, that's why I said, I'm learning more about YouTube, because you can, if you use it wisely, then you can actually generate something out of your YouTube channels. The second is looking for sponsorships, for with companies who are who believe in women empowerment, right? So those kind of things. So the women, we don't want to do anything. We want to keep it as it is, and we want to build a revenue around it. It's definitely not a NGO. If that's the question that you're asking, it's definitely for profit that we are looking at. But we are trying to build things around it now that we have a certain reach and we are getting a lot of other connects. So this is what we'll be working on for the next few months.
Okay, so the second question, how did WWW come up?
Yeah, I think this also I explained in the intro. So one is, of course, Wonder Woman. I don't think you have any questions about Wonder Woman, because I'm sure you also believe. Huh?
Gal Gadot.
What is it? Yeah, not Gal Gadot, but you're the Wonder Woman in your life I'm talking about. Yeah. So Wonder Woman is that part of it. The Wednesday is because, like I said, initially the thought was to publish one story a week, right? So normally you have Monday motivation, you have fun Fridays, but nobody talks of the middle of the week. So we thought, okay, we need some motivation in the middle of the week. That's one. And second
One
is
hilarious part of Wednesday is middle of the week आता है ना. So I had one thing. What वाला Wednesday? Every Wednesday would be a what because it comes in the middle, right? So what वाला Wednesday हमेशा हमारा रहता है.
okay. So another one is the acronym is good, right? WWW. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah, so that was the reason. Hilarious interview. I have to think of some incidents actually. The conversations are normally, I think, a bit serious because we talk about what women have been
तो
doing.
इसीलिए मैंने वो hilarious वाला पूछा कि I mean
Yeah.
we try to portray all this show of strength, the resilience that they had, etc. लेकिन there is so much of fun, there is so much of hilarious also. Probably because I've read a couple of them of Wonder Woman stories. तो वहां पे क्या है ना वो दुख भरी I mean not the दुख भरी strength वाली but still there is a दुख भरी angle. I was always trying to
Yeah.
find some hilarious angle, so I asked you. Never mind. If you can, in the future weeks, come up to it. Somebody else wants
Yes,
to
yes,
ask.
sure.
Please go ahead. We have another Wonder Woman, Namrata, who always asks questions. Namrata,
No, I think
turn on your camera.
the discussion now itself seems to be quite hilarious. So it's it's a question of looking in what sense. And
Yeah.
also I
Yeah, I had
thought
one
your
question.
purpose was mainly to see. Yeah, please go on, Amar.
Yeah,
Yes,
good
sir.
evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Amar sir.
Good evening, ma'am. First of all, I must thank you for this wonderful presentation you made today. I must say,
Thank you.
admit that behind every successful man, there's a woman. So you keep going strong with these postings every Wednesday. And
Yeah, thank you.
what has hit my mind is that I have worked in a designer field, as I have already told you, around
Yeah.
most of them are from the other part of the world with females designers whom
Yeah.
I work. One question that erupted in the talk that you were discussing, you say in context that women were not given importance in our journey. Is it in context with the Indian way of working or the other part of the world? Because if I worked with other part of the world, I've seen women taking leading roles, and much of bigger companies which I worked are all led by women in the designer world, fashion world. Number one. Number
Okay.
two, you say women. Women today in India have been empowered in a bigger way today. Take Kalpana Chawla. Take our own President Murmu. I have worked as a Rotarian in the empowering women. And I think so, as you said rightly, that 2-3 things that you, from your talk, I take away today is network. I
Yeah.
spoke to you earlier also when you met me. Networking, always I talk about networking,
Yeah.
empowering
Yeah.
women,
Yes, sir.
being
Yes.
awareness, and the content that we want to convey, the message to improve the betterment of a woman. Most of whom we have been writing, showcasing their work on every Wednesday. I think some of them I have spoken to them and very
Yeah.
impressed with the kind of work they do. And as you said,
Correct.
CSR, they do social projects impacting our lives today. There's a lot to
Correct.
learn from them. I think so. Wonderful journey I have been sharing with you so far, seeing all your Wednesday programs, write-ups that you send. And I try to reach them,
Yeah.
as I've always shared with you, that yes, we should all
Yes, sir.
join hands to join with them, meet them, connect with them. Not that as an individual, but as a collective force of SIT, we should definitely encourage them, empower them to do some good work. That's my take.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Actually, I want to add, maybe I didn't tell this earlier. Like Amar sir normally calls up every Wednesday, Thursday and talks about the story that I have shared. And he's been a constant source of encouragement for me. Like, I mean, SIT actually has been very, very supportive, not just, encouraging and giving ideas and feedback. Like Sagar has given quite a lot of feedbacks, which I have inculcated some of them. And Amar sir always calls up and encourages me and says, wonderful story, just keep going. And then Manoj sir, I mean, he has, I think, 30-40% of the stories that I share come from Manoj sir's connects. So every week he keeps sending me 2 or 3 connects, and it's just that I am not able to connect with all of them sometimes. So, I mean, SIT has been a wonderful platform where it has helped me network, though not to the extent that I would have loved to. But it has definitely helped me get connects, not just get connects, but also a lot of thoughts, new ideas come to me when I speak to people in the SIT. So, yeah, thank you, Amar sir. Actually, your
Thank you.
encouragement keeps me going.
Now, two good things you said, awareness and discipline. I think so.
Yeah.
We should all follow this in our regular life and make sure that our children also
Yeah.
have values for their lives and ethics. They should follow ethics of what we have taught them. That will lead them to
Yes,
a
sir.
better human beings, I think. Very
Yes,
well.
sir.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Amarjit. See, there is one
Thank you.
question from
Thank you.
Hemant. He
Yeah.
wants to know, where is the WWW happening?
It's all on digital platform. So,
So maybe
sorry,
you
I
can just
can't
tell
hear
him as
you.
to how he or somebody in his life who's a woman who can get in touch with you for
Yeah.
this kind of a program.
Yes. So we have our website, and there you will get a link where you can, send an email. It's basically growth@wonderwomanwednesday.com. That is the email ID. Maybe we can share it in the SIT group. And once the mail is sent, or you can message me, I am in the group. So you can message me and I'll get in touch with whoever you have in your mind, and I'll talk to them. I explain the process. So normally the process is that once I get a connect, I call them up, I speak to them, I explain the entire process. Then we have a set of guidelines which we share in terms of number of words for the story and what are the outputs that we generate. Once the story comes to us, we create 3 different formats: one for LinkedIn, one as an Instagram reel, and one we put it on our website. And we also publish it across cross post in all our platforms, so it gets as much reach as it can.
Got you.
I have one
Thank you so
question,
much.
Sneha. One question I had.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot in my talk. You just telling that you are working with CSR on this Wonder Woman. Am I right?
No. We started as a CSR. That's what I said. From Abhiyan, we started Wonder Woman Wednesday as a CSR activity.
CSR activity. Right. Good.
Yeah.
But one more thing that you shared today was you write poetry.
Yes, I do.
You should share that book.
Yeah. Yes. I will.
Continue that. There's a good passion you have. You should continue with that.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Amar,
Hemant, is that okay with you? Any other further follow-up question you have on the?
Absolutely, I'm absolutely good. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
I got the
Yeah.
reference.
So what I was thinking was, maybe see, Vinayak is damn good in CRM, right? He understands what CRM is. So with Vinayak's help, maybe you should really look at becoming the next your story in India.
I think
I don't know.
Sagar is smiling because we had this conversation months ago.
Dinakar, I had
But
Or
I
your
think,
story, or there is this
yeah,
other thing which is called as what
Humans of Bombay, maybe.
the living legend, is it? Or
Humans of
there is one
Bombay.
more YouTube channel.
Humans of Bombay.
Humans of Bombay.
No. Something to do with living. I don't get the name. So they also do a lot of such stories.
Okay.
And if you say that my focus is only on women, then maybe
Yeah.
that could also be some kind of a add-on to Vinayak's business of corporate gifting. This also
Yeah.
could possibly give some kind of a traction in that space. Because
Why
if you
should
look at
women
the
have all
larger
the fun?
companies,
Why
is it, Sagar?
should women have all the Why should women have all the fame? हम लोगों ने क्या गलत किया? हमारा भी story छापो.
हाँ, आप start करो ना. That is what actually my son keeps asking me, कि Monday motivation ऐसा कुछ men के लिए बनाना है. So I say it's a very good idea, because men will definitely feel happy that, the focus is not just on women, but on us too. But for now, actually.
घूम फिर के सभी सागर में मिलना है.
No, actually, there's one very interesting ad that I had seen, which always makes me think. Like sometimes even I think, we are focusing so much on women, and it's not that we have a gender bias, right? It's we have also got the support of men in our lives. But then there is one very interesting ad which spoke about, 50% of India's population is women, and out of that 50%, 50% women stop working after marriage, or just because they've got married. And in that, the 50% stop working after the first child. And in that, another 50%, in the sense, 50% of the leftover. And then it's only a small percentage of women who actually continue to work. And that sets me thinking, and making me feel that I'm in the right direction. It's just that, we need to do this in a right way. And another thing that Wonder Woman Wednesday has is, whatever we do, we want to do it in a positive way. It's not to bring down the other gender and all. Like I said, it's a balance. It's not, you want to tilt something towards one gender or the other. And that is why when we post anything, we are very conscious. We want to ensure that it's not focused on one thing and trying to get down the other thing. So we want to do this in a positive way. So that's one more thing which I maybe forgot to bring it out in the conversation
I think
earlier.
that is quite obvious in whatever you meant and spoke, Sneha. It was quite obvious.
Okay.
You're not trying to demean anybody.
Yeah.
That is not the intention at all. And also, I don't think it really comes out in that sense at all. It is basically to
Okay.
showcase somebody who has not been so often showcased. Now, if you look at it, there could be a lot of men also who feel that they've done something good, but they have not been showcased.
Correct.
So somebody to showcase them. And see, this is something which is very interesting. You spoke about the woman stopping to work, 50 percentages.
Yeah.
Now, is there any formula which you apply where you're trying to target those women who have really stopped working, or it's across the board? There is no criteria for selecting the shortlisting your.
No, like I said, we don't want to keep any shortlisting criteria at all. Any woman who wants to share their story, we want this platform to be accessible to all women, whoever is ready to share. So we have found a lot of places where we connect with women and they say, I'm not ready to share my story now because I feel I haven't done anything. And that actually, that is something, that's why I say women who want to share their story, that is the focus. We try and, tell people, you sit down and write, maybe you yourself will figure out what you have done in this journey. Because when you normally wouldn't think about what are the things that you would have done. But once you sit down and start writing, I think that is the time where you will realize that, okay, I've done so much, because we have
That's very
seen
important,
women
right?
who
Otherwise,
have,
how will you get confidence? That's
yeah.
a kind of a
Sneha ji.
confidence
we have
builder
seen,
also, right?
स्नेहा जी
correct.
50 साल हो गए मेरी
Amit.
शादी 50 साल हो जाएंगे मेरी शादी को 4 तारीख को मेरी बीवी अभी भी काम
Wow.
करती है ना
Yeah, that's
तो
true. That's really nice.
so I empowered
One,
her and a
one
great
person has
support
raised his, one
she has,
gentleman has raised his hand. उसको घर पे नहीं पूछने
Yeah,
का,
I just
video
hold
पे
on.
पूछने
Let
का है.
Ramar complete, then we'll go to the time.
no, I just want to say women
Oh, I didn't see. Sorry.
definitely, as you said, they have never stopped working. They are always supportive,
Yeah, absolutely.
directly or
Yeah,
indirectly.
Vinayak, over to you, sir.
Vinayak sir.
Yeah, so I want to thank a woman called as Rajeshri. Okay, she was my colleague in my crossroad days in 1999. Okay, she was the first woman who came on the
Share the
story.
story.
She started by saying मैंने क्या किया है, and somehow I patawed her. She is my friend, so I could pataw her and made her जबरदस्ती करके story दिया. If she had not given the story ना, so Wonder Woman Wednesday wouldn't have been there. So,
Wow.
I want to say that, see, sometimes what happens is more than the process, how we go ahead. It's the first start which is important. Okay, so as a startup also, many people dream of doing things, but they don't do that first bit. And if Rajeshri was not there and she was not convinced by me, maybe Wonder Woman wouldn't have been there. So this is just to add to what Sneha said about, you need somebody to push yourself to do that first start. If you look at when a passing day parade happens of the army, They say Antim Pag, means that's the beginning of the new life which they are going to do in the army, and that is the first time. So that was my limited, statement. Without her, we wouldn't have been here. So appreciate her
Yeah.
support to us.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you
Thanks,
very much,
Vinayak.
Vinayak.
Yeah.
Before we end, can everybody switch on the cameras, please, so that we can take a short snap, and then we can use it as a thumbnail for our. Once again, yeah, there it is. Now, as usual, I would like to hand over to Amar to conclude our session. Always, he's see. I learned something from Amar before I give it to you, Mr. Amar. See, he says that, look, every Saturday, Thursday, I participate here because I get to know people. I just understand. And I remember when we were in Jaipur, we were living in a rented house, which was owned by a person by name Raj Singh Nirwan. He was the CEO of NTC, National Textile Corporation, and later was the chairman of Rajasthan Planning Commission. He was very close to Gaylord, politically well connected. So he used to say that I've never seen anybody like that. Whenever I've met him, he would say, Dinakar, ye isko pata, usko ye pata hai, usse milwaunga, isse milwaunga, networking outstanding. Pick up the phone, call up 3 fellows, and then say that, Arey, ye aayega, usse baat karo. And his DNA was very simple. You have to have interest in people. Only then will you succeed.
Correct.
People are extremely important. And Amarji, he is much older than you. So इसलिए मैं उसका example ले रहा. But you're also a kind of a replica of him. If you are interested in people, you grow, because that is the only thing that you can leave behind. So with that brief compliments to Amar, over to you, sir, for the final
I agree with you, Dinakar. I'll share a small clip with you, interesting one, which you'll learn how networking works. I'd just been to buy some grocery for my home the other day, about 4-5 days back. And I thought I had given my servant had given my clothing for laundry. I picked them up to bring. The guy had been out. The laundry boy was not at his place. And I stood by. And I stood by. A couple came in and said, Happy Diwali. I never knew them. But when he said Happy Diwali, I also wished him. By the time the laundryman could come, we had a small conversation. And when I talked to him, he was a lieutenant colonel from the army.
Wow.
And he said, sir, where you live? He told, I live close by here only, sir. And I asked him, what do you do? Sir, I do singing, mouth organ, playing with other instruments. I give shows, and I have a art studio here. Drop in sometimes. So the connect became so quick. Within 5 minutes, he shared his details on WhatsApp, and today we are connected as good friends. So I think so. This is the best part of networking. So and I've invited him for SIT. I've invited him to join SIT, and I'll definitely bring him one day to SIT. But Sneha ji, a wonderful program you have shared today with me. I think so. You inspired me a lot. This your post about Wonder Woman. Every week that you post, I eagerly await as if I'm waiting for my breakfast that day. Even before that, I think Sneha has not posted. The last post also, I was thinking why she has posted late. So I have to wait and they hunger to know more about what you post, read about them, the journey about those women who have seen life in a different perspective. We are blessed with many good things of life. As you said, end of the day, what we give back. The joy of giving. The joy of giving, I think so. Many of us forget that we have to give back what if something God has given us. When we go to the temple, we give something. Okay, we have to, when we offer prayers to the Lord, we give and come back. I think so. As human beings, you are sharing a wonderful program every week. Every write-up, your podcast inspires people, and it will keep inspiring. I'm telling you, watch my word, it'll keep inspiring me. As we go by age, I think so it will inspire us, all of us. And especially when you are posting about women, which so far I have not seen in my life of 70 years. I've come across, I read articles every week from different parts in different newspapers, magazines, Toastmasters. But definitely a wonderful post that you share every Wednesday. I think many people should connect with them, know about them, and encourage them to keep continuing their good work. I think so. I wish you all the best. Keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you
share
so
your
much.
poetry with all of us. I think so. It will be encouraging to and definitely it's my privilege to invite you for a Rotary meet also. I think so. My daughter is also
Thank you, sir.
connected to you. So let's join hands to
Yeah.
do some good work. I will definitely share some of the profiles that I have already printouts with me, with my CSR partners.
Yes, sir.
I will definitely make sure that we inspire some people, let them inspire many more people, make someone's life a better way to live it. Thank you so
Sure.
much for
Thank you
sharing
so
Thank you
this.
so
much,
much.
sir.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
good night and goodbye. I'll just
And,
leave
Thank
Sagar
you.
continuing in case anybody wants to continue. I just leave the meeting, close the meeting, and Sagar can continue. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
What
Thank you.
wonderful
Bye-bye.
Thursdays, I think so, have been. Dinakar sir, I must first of all thank you for this encouraging movement that along with Sagar you share
Dinakar gaye.
every week.
Left.
दिनकर गए दिनकर गए
दिन में गए, रात में गए,
दिनकर नहीं दिनकर लॉग ऑफ हो गए और विनायक भी भाग गए अभी
भाग गए
स्नेहा
नहीं?
पकड़
Yeah.
हाँ, स्नेहा तो आग
स्नेहा
नींद
अभी
आने
विनायक
लगी
को
थी ना,
पकड़ेगी ए
स्नेहा को
डॉक्टर
नींद आने
नम्रता
लगी.
हाउ आर यू
What a wonderful program. Namrata ji, good evening.
डॉक्टर
Good evening,
नम्रता
sir.
डॉक्टर नम्रता व्हेन इज योर ऑयल कमिंग
Hi.
And when is your story coming?
whose story
Her story for Wonder Woman Wednesday.
anytime
Yeah. I'll connect with you tomorrow.
no
Yeah, sure.
no Sneha you publish her story after she gives me oil to regrow my hair
Okay.
हेमंत क्या देख रहा है भाई ओ हेमंत
कहाँ
अरे
चले गए विनायक जी?
दिल्ली वाले हेमंत क्या देख रहा है कहीं गया हो
वो फेसबुक में या नोटबुक में देख रहा है, पूछो.
हाँ ए हेमंत वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट यू
Oh, please.
क्या देख रहा है
Yes, please. Please come again. I'm sorry.
क्या
ग्लास
देख
को
रहा
अलग,
क्या
ग्लास को
देख
बगल
रहे
में
थे
रख
भाई
दो, एक ग्लास को बगल में रख दो बोला मैं उसको.
No, plain water and nothing else.
वो क्लियर ही होता है सर, तभी पीते हैं. हाँ? But a good program. Last few episodes have been really good programs, good write-ups, and good SID chats. I think so.
Yeah.
This many people will join, right? They will be missing if they have not joined. I think so. They are missing this opportunity to know more about
you know what
you are posting.
it is Amarji, it is during after Manoj's episode we did the 25th episode with Manoj, right?
Yeah.
तो उसके बाद मनोज से बात किया
Hmm.
तो Manoj said even during the chat and after the chat also was Sagar, you know what happened good? See, I was expecting a huge crowd for Manoj. I mean, one is Rotarian, he's the Google man. I mean, every one of us know. So, but the crowd was almost this much only. You know what he said? अच्छा हुआ कि ज्यादा लोग नहीं आए because we could talk more.
Yes.
We could go in depth.
Yes.
So it is okay. Whoever do not do, I mean, don't worry about how many people came, how many people did not come. If they find some value in it, they will always come. But people who really are finding value, they'll keep coming and start interacting. The motto for you guys to do this chit chat should be more about knowledge sharing, not about publicity.
Publicity.
So PR activity छोड़ देंगे. Okay, and that is where if you see, I stopped the PR activity way long. I think 10th episode के बाद मैंने PR कुछ नहीं किया chit chat के लिए. जिनका मर्जी है वो लोग आएंगे. For example, I mean, जब तक डॉक्टर नम्रता और अमर जी स्क्रीन पे नहीं दिखते तब तक हमारा चिट चैट चालू नहीं होता है. These two are so regular. Hemant is regular, and now Jairam is coming. I have not seen, by the way. स्नेहा को नहीं देखा था. विनायक तो भाग
No,
जाता है.
actually,
नहीं आता है.
no, I'll tell you the thing. Like the timings is a problem. 8:30 to 9:30 is dinner time, and Wonder Women have to be in the kitchen. So
नहीं
whatever
our
said
एक
and done.
दिन स्नेहा जी एक दिन ये समझना कि भाई हम 6 to 9 पिक्चर देखने गए बोल के खत्म हो गया ना.
और मे भी
डॉक्टर
पहले
नम्रता
बना लेने का.
अरे
डॉक्टर
माइके जाते
नम्रता
तो क्या करेंगे भाई? हाँ स्नेहा जी, हाँ
हाँ.
माइके जाते तो फिर क्या करेंगे? फिर तो टाइम ही टाइम है ना. एक दिन समझ लेना
Yeah,
माइके
but
गए.
never mind. People will come if they find value in this.
Oh yes,
उनको टेस्ट लगना
absolutely.
चाहिए. There is so much that we can connect to. Anyways, और क्या हालचाल हेमंत भाई? क्या हो रहा है दिल्ली में?
वो सागर भाई दिल्ली में फॉग ही
हैं?
चल रहा है. फॉग चल रहा है दिल्ली में.
अरे और कितना जलाओगे?
This year it is, I mean, better than the last all years. And for 5 years this has
Okay.
been, it's been going. दिवाली से पहले एक बार बारिश हो गई, उसके बाद एक बार और हो गई. It's going well.
Good.
Enjoying the
एक
weather.
तो खराब है ना साहब, एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स तो बहुत ही खराब है.
सर ये बहुत अच्छा है, 700 तक पहुंच जाता था. I mean, at this point जो टाइम अभी चल रहा है for last years, इस बार it is into the range of 300 to 400. We are happy with that. I mean, we are so grateful about it.
परसों मेरा दोस्त आया
Your
दिल्ली
background is a
कि
virtual
भाई यहाँ
background?
70 है.
Sorry.
Mine? Sorry, Sagar,
Sneha,
you're asking me?
yours is a
No,
Zoom
no,
virtual
no,
background?
it's a real. No, it's a real
Yeah.
background. Because I use this for my podcast setup, so
क्या
it
चीज
is.
है वो? Is it a wallpaper or is
वो
it a pot?
No, one is the actual plant,
हाँ.
the green one.
अच्छा
वो
लग रहा है.
ऊपर वो artificial leaves है.
हाँ. Okay, that's why. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
this is
because
where I conduct my podcast, so I need.
no, you got it. You got a great background because
Yeah,
वो periphery में it has got dark, and in the center you've got a lighter gray, and you
Yeah.
also got what light in front of your camera, behind your camera.
No, the lights are actually throughout. Like this is actually a home theater we had created, so it has that light like how you have in cinema halls, no? Like 3 rows of
Right.
lights.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So
That's very good setup what you have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
हमको भी बनाना पड़ेगा ऐसा.
आपका थिएटर ही बना देंगे ना, घर इतना बढ़िया है आपका.
Yeah.
नीचे है होम थिएटर है, नीचे होम थिएटर है.
Yeah, basement में ना.
हाँ, तो
हाँ है.
गुड. चलो then.
गुड. चलिए सर, गुड नाइट, मिलते हैं.
Good night.
Thank you
Jairam.
so
Good night.
much.
Thank
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Sneha. Thank you. Bye.
Thank-
Bye bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you,
हेमंत, अभी मैं कॉल करता हूँ, एक काम है अभी. I'll call you over the phone.
Sure.
अमर जी, good night.
Good night, sir. Good night.
Bye Jairam. Thanks. Keep coming, Jairam.
Okay, sir. Bye, sir. Good night. Bye, everyone.